Today's guest is Holly Barnett. She's a business systems analyst at Leidos and currently participating in the ACT-IAC Associates Leadership Development Program, which is kind of how we met as we were both participating. And so thank you for joining me today, Holly.
Yes, thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be joining a podcast, my first podcast that I'm doing here. So very excited.
So for those who have not met you or had a chance to talk with you, talk a bit about your background, where you're from, who you are, and what you do.
Yeah. So I am Holly Barnett, just as you just introduced me as. I am from Germantown, Maryland, born and raised. I have remained local my whole life. Even school-wise, I only traveled to Frederick, Maryland, and I went to Hood College there. I have been, well, the purpose of this is about dance. So I've been dancing my whole life, and that has traveled out throughout college and till today. And what was some of the other parts of that question there?
Yeah, so like, I mean, what do you, talk about a little bit about career-wise, what do you do?
Right. Okay.
But, and then, yeah, Germantown, I think you've answered the question.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Germantown, Maryland, a great place, Royal Bakery. Highly recommend, my favorite place to go. But career-wise, I am at Leidos, and I actually just graduated from a rotational program. So I was in a program, it's called the BD, Business Development Leadership Program here at Leidos. And so I just started into a more permanent role as a BD system analyst, and it's very new to me. So we're learning as we go and trying to learn as fast as we can. But I really enjoyed the rotational program. It allowed me to get a high overview of what Leidos does. I got to see a few different areas, such as capture management, BD leads, and some of the ops side.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did mention the dancing. And we recently were at an event and we were talking, and you mentioned that you danced, and I asked, more targeted questions, like still dance, and you said yes, which really interested me, since as we talked about before I started recording, a lot of people will do dance or other activities in high school, and sometimes it translates to college, and almost never do people continue after college. And so let's go back to the beginning. What got you into dance to begin with?
Yeah. So I started off dancing. I have a very large family in the area, and I'm the youngest girl within my family that's close by. And so all my cousins began dancing, and as well as my sister. And before I could even walk, my mom knew that I wanted to dance. I would tell her. And so I got started at a very young age, started dancing at the age of 2. And then from there, it kind of took off. I danced at the same studio my whole life. It was called Miss Chianti's Dance School of Maryland. And I went ahead and started competing on the teams there when I was 5 and continued on. I have made lifelong friends throughout that. I still know everyone that I danced with there. And then went into high school, got involved in some of the dance teams there, such as the Pom Squad. And then I moved into college, was on the dance ensemble team at Hood College. And now I do it now, just more fun, much more relaxed compared to what I had to do as a kid. It was very disciplined compared to now. It's just more fun.
So what keeps you doing it? What about it has attracted your attention to continue to do it even after you started your career?
Yeah, I really loved, I didn't have any sports, so it was just something that I always went to for exercise. And on top of that, it was just a way to express and release anything that you had going on in your life. It's kind of all forgotten when you're out on the dance floor. And I really enjoyed different aspects, especially my family being a part of it. It just was another way to connect with everyone there. And on top of that, it also pushes you, right? Like I want to continue remaining flexible and mobile. So it's that other goal that I'm always trying to meet and continue doing.
I wish I could say the same. I wish I could say I was flexible and mobile. Oh, so when we say dance, it's kind of a generic term. What kind of dancing? I think when we talked, you said there was a few types you've done, and you still strive to even learn more. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so the ones I enjoy most are tap, jazz, and ballet. But I practiced all types, lyrical, contemporary on top of that. And as we spoke at the event, I remember telling you, I was like, yeah, I prefer to do it versus watch it. I love watching to mimic and try to learn a dance. But if I'm just watching to watch, I'm like, I'd rather just be doing it. But I've also taken some courses within college, social dance classes. And so I gotten a little glimpse into some other areas that I wasn't exposed to as a kid.
Wow, that's really interesting. Like, just trying to figure out that, I mean, tap and jazz, are they similar in nature? How do you do all the varieties and still make it work?
Yeah, I mean, they translate over a lot of the different movements and just the ability to pick up quickly. Once you see it, you can do it. And that's what comes with time. And trained as a young kid has made that very easy. And you see people, they have areas where they're better than others. And I believe, jazz is where I'm definitely the best. I have family members that are amazing at tap. And I'm like, I want to get there. So we kind of all push each other to meet this expectation that we have in our head.
That's so cool. So what about doing all of this almost your entire life, do you think has made you a better person?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, I've been thinking about it, and I think overall, it brings me joy to dance. And so makes me a happier person and probably better to be around in general. So I'm pretty sure everyone in my life's like, thank God she has something that she's doing. But on top of that, it has really just taught me so much about discipline at a young age. It's taught me how to work as a team and collaborate, especially as we made dances together. And then on top of that, just really thinking on your feet, right? When you're out there and something goes wrong, when you're performing, you got to bounce back and make it okay. And I always noticed when I would make mistakes, and then afterwards you would talk to people in the audience, or like, oh, I didn't see it.
Right.
But it really has, what I really have enjoyed about it and what I think has made me a better human being is the joy that it's brought to others as well. So after I do a performance, I love to see how it makes people feel, and it just brings another level of enjoyment to me. I love doing it and I love performing. That's
cool. So, what's next? I know we're coming out of COVID for the most part, and it's not completely gone, but things are clearing up a little bit. What's next for you in terms of dance?
Yeah. So I'm actually trying to find another studio right now to go to, just for a more variety of classes, and looking into getting my boyfriend to do some classes with me. So some type of salsa or ballroom dancing is what I see on the horizon. I think that would be really fun. It's not something that I've done before, but trying to think in terms of dance, that's what I have going on. And then on top of that, long-term goal, something that I always have been wanting to do, just not in that spot yet to do it, is coaching a POMS team. I've taught a lot of dance at my studio as I grew up, but really being a part of the high school experience and kind of shaping their life, as well as being involved in helping them learn dance, I think that would be really fun. And it's on the list of things to do.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Giving back always
right
increases joy, right?
It does. It really does.
Wow. Well, so Holly, thank you so much for sharing your passion in this, in dance today, and educating us a little bit more about that we can do some things that we maybe think are, oh, that's when I'm a youth. No. It's something you can do lifelong. And just seeing how happy you are talking about it makes me almost want to go dance.
Great. You should. And everyone should. I really appreciate you having me on this podcast. But on top of that, I just want to encourage everyone to, if you have your own passion projects that you did up until high school or college and didn't continue on, it's okay to pick it back up. And I think you'll see that it brings you a lot of joy, just as dance has done with me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Holly. Can't wait to talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Jeremy. Thank you again.